Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be going over breathing exercises. Now these exercises are great for the vocalist or the singer, but it's also great just for having a breathing technique that you can use throughout your day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, so the first type of breathing exercise I'm going to go over is the Farinelli breathing exercises. Little backstory, that's pretty interesting. So these exercises were adapted by a very famous Italian castrato singer. Farinelli was just his stage name. His actual name was Carlo Maria Nicolangelo. Carlo Maria Michelangelo. Carlo Maria Michelangelo Nicola Broschi. That's a handful, but otherwise known as Farinelli. And so the purpose of these breathing exercises is focusing on three phases. The first one being inhalation, the second one being suspension, and the third being exhalation. So as we're going to inhale, we're going to focus on taking in the air through our nasal cavity. On the suspension, we're going to hold our breath. And on the exhalation, we're going to release the air through a very pursed lip. All right, let's get into it. Another really important part of these breathing exercises is timing. Timing is everything. So I recommend using a metronome. A metronome is an instrument used to keep time for music. So you could Google it, you could download an app. There's plenty of ways to get a metronome. So I recommend you go and do that now. All right, now that we're back and you got your metronome, we're gonna turn our metronome on, and what we're going to do is we're gonna set the tempo. So the BPM that you see there stands for beats per minute. And that's kind of like carrying the rhythm, the heartbeat of the exercise that we're about to do, or it can just carry the heartbeat of a song. So I think we're gonna start at 80. All right, so for the first one, we're going to inhale for 4 beats. We're going to suspend, hold our breath for 4, and then we're going to exhale and release on 8 counts. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, inhale. Suspend, exhale. Nice. How'd you do? All right, we're gonna take it to the next level. All right, we're gonna inhale for 4, we're gonna suspend for 4, we're gonna exhale for 16. All right, same way, here we go. 2, 3, and inhale, suspend, and exhale. Did you survive that one? So, coming back with a little bit of an explanation on the proper form that you want to have as you're doing these exercises. So I'm going to show you that as you're inhaling, there needs to be an expansion in your diaphragm. In other words, you need to feel your rib cage expanding outward like a balloon. And as you exhale, it's going to retract back nicely. So your goal is to be able to inhale for the full count. We've been doing 4. You shouldn't inhale and be done on 1 or on 2. You want to slowly inhale, expand that rib cage up until 4 counts. One of these exercises for the singer is to help you learn how to utilize your diaphragm in a way that is controlled and that you don't use all your air at once when you're singing. And then just for meditation, just for taking a moment just to take a breather, these are really great exercises as well, just to kind of help resurface and get you back into like a really peaceful state of mind. Whichever way you're going to use these exercises, it's crucial that you're going to use them with the right form. Still on 80, and I'm going to really focus on my core here. All right, are you ready? Let's go. Breathe in, 2, ready, let's begin. Let's reset. Take a couple deep breaths. Let them out. We're gonna go again. Inhale for 4, suspend for 4, and we're going to exhale for 16. All right, here we go. All right, nice job. You should not feel like you're gonna pass out while you're doing these exercises. You definitely want to control. The key word here is control. Control the air as it is leaving your mouth. Don't just and let everything out, because then you're not going to be able to sustain that full count of 8 or 16 or 21 or whatever number that we're going to. So you want to make sure that the air leaving is very controlled. With that being said, we're going to get into the next exercise, which I think is a great one to help you learn how to control how much air is actually coming out of your mouth. All right, so we're back with number 2 on breathing exercises. So this one is one of my personal favorites. I learned it when I was in high school in chorus class, and I thought it was so fun and so challenging at the same time. So we are essentially going to be counting to 13. Sounds simple, right? Simple until it's not. So for this one, the metronome BPM is going to be a lot slower. We're going to actually start somewhere around maybe like the 60s. And then your job is to decrease the number of the metronome. The slower the BPM, the harder this exercise is. So if you want, you can start at a higher number as you're learning the exercise, as you're learning the technique. And then as you do this, maybe, you know, every few days or whenever you're trying to warm up and practice your breathing, you can actually slow that tempo down significantly. You also will need to just pick a pitch, any pitch, any pitch. You don't need an instrument for it. You can just imagine a pitch. That's called audiation, by the way. All right, here we go. Metronome on 80. I promise you this is going to be super simple because it is a super fast tempo for this exercise. But here we go. We're going to count. The pitch I'm going to use. All right, here we go. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so that is the exercise right there. Simply counting to 13. Now I know I said it sounds simple, and it's not that easy because you're doing it all in one breath. Yes, one breath. Okay. So the point of doing it all in one breath is to teach you, again, how to control the amount of air that you're letting out. Why is this important for singers? As you sing, you are naturally releasing air through your words, especially through your consonants. So this is a perfect exercise at practicing how much air you're actually letting out on consonants. So when you look at some of the numbers, 2, 3, 6, 7, right? You can already hear the air is escaping the mouth easier than 1, right? 3. So those are the numbers that you want to focus on a little bit more on holding back. 1, there isn't really anything that's causing you to right? Anytime you're using a consonant in a way where it's expelling air, you want to hold back. We're going to try this one more time. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit just to challenge you guys a little bit. Here we go. Before we do this, we also want to take in a deep breath and release. Another deep breath and release. Let's take in one more for good measure. And then let's start on 1. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This speed, it may not be a challenge to you, so definitely decrease that BPM. If you're able to get through to 13, no issues. And when I mean no issues, I mean that you've gotten to 13 and you still got a little bit more air in you. So you see I had a little bit of vibrato at the end. That means I had a little bit more air. I could have went up to maybe like 20 if I'd like. So you'll know when you're struggling, when you're like barely reaching 13, or maybe you stop at 11. That's also really important. Do not force yourself to 13. If you stop at 7, then that's great. And that is your goal for this week. Push yourself for the next week to get up to 8 or get up to 9, okay? So you don't want to push yourself and force yourself, because you're gonna run out of air if you're not used to taking in or letting out air in such a small increment. Build yourself up there and let me know when you reach 13. All right, so the last type of exercise that I want to go over, and it's one of my favorites, it is panting and hissing. I love doing these exercises because they really activate my core, in other words, my diaphragm. And these exercises will definitely get you ready. If you don't have time to do a full warm-up, I definitely recommend you do some type of breathing exercise. So one of these categories are perfectly fine. Something that's gonna activate your core. If you ever notice, like after you worked out, or like while you're like on the treadmill and you're like, you know, you're like jogging on the treadmill, I can imagine just like this, right? And you start to sing, oh la 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 la, oh la 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 la. And you're like, wow, like I sound really good, but I'm like also out of breath. That's because you're activating your core. The more you know. All right, so now that the metronome is back on, we're gonna go through the third exercise, which is hissing and panting. These are really great exercises that can help you activate your diaphragm in a short amount of time. And I like to do these, if I don't get to do any other warm up for my voice, I definitely try to make sure that I do some variation of these hissing or panting exercises. So you want to pick a consonant like T, S, V, Z. You're pretty much just going to hiss with that or pant with that. So I'm going to choose S. Let's start. We're going to start off by doing 1 hiss per tick, and then we're going to move to 2 hisses per tick. All right, and then we're gonna try to go up to 4 hisses per tick. So let's try it. Breathe in. Great job. Now, as I'm doing this, you want to make sure that your core is kind of being activated. It should be going in and out, in and out. All right, we're gonna try to do 2 hisses per tick. Ready? Here we go. All right, and now 4, double tap now. Here we go, and all right, now notice it's all balanced. You don't want to have some S's or whatever consonant you're using coming out stronger than others, and then some are weaker, or the timing is not right. You want to make sure everything is balanced. So example of what you don't want, they're all different. You want to make sure all of the breaths are going to be even. All right, so there you have it. These were a few breathing techniques that you can utilize as a vocalist, or if you simply just want to recenter your mind, recenter your inner peace, and just relax and take a breather. I find that these breathing exercises help regardless of what you're doing or what you're using them for. So I hope this video helped. I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you back again soon. Bye.